and studs. Here comes Santa Claus. Here comes Santa Claus. Right down Santa Claus Lane. Come one, come all, holiday revelers and party goers. Welcome on into the premier Christmas build and review set of the season. I have been waiting a good 2 long months or so to finally bring this build to all of you to view and enjoy. We are now in the thick of the holiday season. I am hoping that your holiday is going well. May your holidays be filled with laughter, joy, fun, and most importantly, friends and family. Actually, there's something that's much more important than friends and family. I hope your holidays are filled with even more food and delicious adult beverages if you're an adult. For me, I can't complain. I have some time off of work in the coming weeks, and most importantly, time to build sets for the channel. So the set that we are reviewing building was released on October 1st and cost about $100. The set has a total of 1445 pieces and will take you a decent amount of time to build. It took me right around 3 to 4 hours to put together, so I would expect you to take a similar amount of time to build this excellent Christmas model. As usual with these longer builds, I have decided to break apart the build video into 2 so that you guys will not be getting viewing fatigue from staring at me putting together this thing at a rapid pace. Isn't it interesting that with technology, we can compress a 4-hour build to roughly only 25 minutes to half an hour? Crazy, right? Anyway, we will be building bags 1 through 5 in this first part. Again, with building large structures, we will be focusing in on putting together the base and the foundation of the set and making our way up to building the walls and finally up to the roof. Not to mention, throw in decorations to give the house more flavor and character. Speaking of character, I know you, the viewer, as an upstanding member of the LEGO community, we could use someone of your positively in this growing brick family. How do you become a member of this brick family? Well, pretty easy, by subscribing to this channel. It is exactly as simple as that. By subbing to the channel, you are supporting this ever-growing channel and your eyes will feast upon LEGO builds, Warhammer painting tutorials, and some real-life content called Besides the Bricks, and also some non-LEGO builds. To my brick family, what else can I say to you all? You guys continue to be the best and most supportive members of anybody across the entire YouTube-verse. I love and enjoy the interaction with those of you who leave a comment in the videos. Please continue to do so because, well, I enjoy interacting with each and every single one of you. Hopefully, as of this video, we should be north of 75 subscribers, so we are looking at the next big milestone, which is 100 subs. I think when we hit 100, we are going to do something nice and bigger than what we did when we hit 50 and 75, so stay tuned. However, I do want to wish every single one of you lots of Legos under your holiday or Christmas tree for your building pleasure. As you saw with bag 1, you start off building the father figure who has a head that is capable of 2 expressions, and depending on your mood, you can opt to choose the grinning one or the overtly excited one. He is wearing a sweater and a scarf, and apparently is mailing out a letter using snail mail. I know, weird, right? Who the hell uses snail mail these days? Apparently, the father figure. Then again, there is something to be said about receiving a good old letter from someone. It feels analog and retro at the same time. After you're done building the minifigure, you move on to building the snowy outside vignette complete with a fence, lantern with a cool, frosted, opaque, cylindrical Lego piece, which I actually find really cool. If I were to take a guess, I would assume that this frosted, glittery Lego piece was probably released with Disney's Frozen line. After you build the lantern, you build the mailbox in which the dad will stuff the letter into. However, I think the star of the show is definitely the Christmas tree. I'll have to say that LEGO has at least 1,000 billion renditions of Christmas trees, with all of them using various techniques and green pieces with round 1x1 studs to represent Christmas ornaments and lights. In my many years of building these trees, never have I encountered a tree that uses clear translucent Lego pieces. This year, the light brick that is included with many of these Christmas sets is incorporated into the Christmas tree itself instead of, say, a fireplace or a lamp or a lantern that is hanging in the living room. This is actually probably the coolest Christmas Christmas tree that I've ever built, because when you press the Christmas tree down on the base, the whole Christmas tree lights up in a brilliant fashion. I totally love this Lego Christmas tree more than the other 150,000 billion that I have built in the past, because the whole tree lights up. I will unfortunately have to gripe that I'm not a fan of the color of the LED light, which is sort of an orangish kind of color. I wish that the color was around 6000K, which is otherwise known as cool white. That would be more a modern and with the times, but hey, these Lego Christmas sets have a bit of an anachronistic feel to them, so the color fits right in. After you are done with the tree and the presents that go underneath it, you progress on to bag 2, which features the mom figure. She only has one expression on her face, which is that of a warm smile that all moms give when they see you after school or a long day's worth of work. She has a large hairpiece with a big bun in the back, and there's nothing more to be said about this figure except that, well, I would want a cheery mom like that to greet me when I come back home from work. Anyway, there is really not much to be said about bag 2, mainly because the build from this bag features making the foundation of the house. You start off building the center part of the foundation, then migrate on to building the left and then the right wing of the house. They are both equally symmetrical, which is nice that there's a balance that is achieved. You first build the tiles in the foundation kitchen, and then migrate to building the star of the show of the set, which is the chimney that Santa goes down, and the collapsible fireplace so that Saint Nick does not burn his little tushy when he shoots down the chimney to bring boys and girls their toys that they worked on so hard to get over this past year. With the start of bag 3, you then start building the character of the kitchen. By character, I mean the appliances, countertops, shelves, etc. You first build a very gray sink, and then progress to building further up the walls of the house. After the walls are slightly built, you then build 2 countertops, which are white in color, which has a sort of olive green type cabinets. This is when I say that the house has a retro feel, because most houses these days are some kind of tone of gray, white, black, or somewhere in between. When you have green cabinets in the kitchen, that means the house is probably from like the 60s or 70s. Anyway, I digress again as usual. What is cool about the kitchen is that the designer definitely gave the kitchen, well, a kitchen-y sort of feel, because you build a loaf of bread, put a pan on the stove, and then put together a mixer to bake all those delicious pies and desserts. After the flair has been put into the kitchen, you move on to building more flair on the outside of the house. With each windowsill at the bottom of the sill, you build a bunch of garland type elements, which actually really give the house a lot of holiday character. You use green Wolverine claws, green 1x1 studs, and cherry elements to achieve this holiday effect, which I actually think is super cool. Moving on to bag 4, you then build up more of the walls of the house. Of the 4 bags that were reviewed, this is probably, unfortunately, the most boring to put together on the house. I mean, what the heck can I say about walls except that they are functional and serve the purpose of blocking out the winter cold? No, this part of the set is not all doom and gloom as I make it out to be. You also will be putting the windows on the house as well as the door. Now, this door is no ordinary door. The door has 15 pieces of flare on it. Just kidding. It actually only has one piece of flare on it, which is actually fairly significant because I don't think that I have ever built a Christmas Lego set that actually has decoration on the door. The decoration is that of 2 green leaf elements that have 2 red berries attached to them. So it kind of looks like a, makeshift Christmas wreath. I think the addition of this element really makes the set pop and makes the whole entire house more inviting. So kudos to the designer for thinking of this extra addition that has not been featured in the past sets. Moving on past bag 4, to no one's surprise, well, is bag 5. Bag 5 again starts off pretty monotonous, and this step has you build up the walls of the house yet again. However, as you progress on, you give the house more character, and the character that you're putting together now focuses on the living room where the fireplace is at, and rightly so, because this set is literally centered around the fireplace. You build and put together the mantle of the fireplace, and the mantle is complete with a clock in the middle of it, which looks like it reads like it's 10 minutes until midnight, which is, I assume, is on Christmas Eve. Flanking the stickered clock are the 2 candle type elements, which give off a festive feel. It is amazing that with an inclusion of a leaf element at the base of the candle, it makes the candle exude a, extra special warm holiday feel. What else exudes that warm holiday feel? Well, stockings that are hanging on the mantelpiece. You build a total of 3, and these stockings really perfect the homey, cozy feeling of this house. You then complete step 5 by building a couch for old dad to sleep in, and then you leave out some milk and cookies for good old Kris Kringle to snack upon when he shoots right down chimney. So that's it for this video, folks, as it has gone far long enough. In the second part of this video, we will be building bags 6 through 9 and finally finishing off this set. So what do you guys think of this set so far? Is it on par or much better than you expected for a Christmas set? Let me know what you think in the comments section below. I'll give you my quick opinion in that so far so good with this set. There are some nice elements such as the building, the kitchen appliances, garlands on the windows, as well as stockings and couch in the living room that break up the repetitiveness of building up the walls. I think the designers are doing a great job of engaging the builder by alternating wall and decoration elements. Well, that's all we have time for this video. This is Sprues and Studs, and I will see you all in part 2 of this video.